as the reprimand.
Yeah, like,
so the reprimand.
So this sucks. This does suck. The Knights had its damage increase, so I was just gonna say some of these. Oh, hold on. Some of these have had some damage increases. Damage increase from 80 to 100 on the Defender. Damage from 70 to 90 on the Knight, and 125 to 135 on the Reprimand. And then we've got the Pummeler with a small increase and a change to stun value. So they do have increases. I mean, like, look, there's two ways of looking at this. It is a nerf because of the way Helldivers works. You are going to be shooting at distance. It's just the way it is. But on the flip side, I'd be really interested to know if, we can check it out later, you know, does it perform better now? If you are up close and personal and playing in the vicinity, because that is an identity thing that they are trying to get across there with the SMGs. The problem is the game won't reward it because of the way the game plays. Now, what would be really interesting would be if you had the damage numbers as they are, but you said if you are within, I don't know, 10 meters of an enemy, or I'm making the numbers up here, 14 meters of the enemy, you get a small multiplier. So you actually rewarded for putting yourself closer to enemies, and it would reward that style of play. Imagine if you could play like the Reprimand or something like the Knight, up close and personal, knowing you're getting more bang for your buck if you are up close to enemies within a certain range, and you've got something like the Rover dog on your shoulder firing bullets as well. That would feel cool. Personally, I'd be interested in that play style. Then you might also be interested in using the shield with an SMG as well. You could do some interesting stuff, but then I also wonder, would that cause the game engine to completely fall apart because we're not in a great spot with it at the moment. I'm pretty sure as a casual player, you won't notice this. And who wants to snipe enemies with an SMG anyway? I mean, I used to use the Reprimand against the Illumina at fair distance and actually do pretty well with it. So there are some use cases for it. But, I mean, SMGs aren't particularly well used anyway. So it just feels like a bit of a discouragement to use them even more. Maybe we'll check them up. I think specializing SMGs for up close is fine, but they need to have a higher fire rate or less recoil, more ammo than they could be. Then they could be nerfed at long range. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of payoff for it being nerfed at long range. Reward it being up close. But that wouldn't happen in Tarkov, guys. So we can forget that. There's so many little nuances here, and it's always been down to this man in this game. This is why I don't go completely ham on numbers, because sometimes for me, it's more about just how something feels and performs in a situation. There is another element to that, the way you play, how you rotate your weaponry, how effective you are with your APM, your positioning, your aim. There are so many things that matter in a game like this than just, oh, this weapon does this much damage. Like, if everybody's playing in exactly the same way at, like, the most optimal level all the time, 100%, then yes, the numbers are absolutely 100% the thing to focus on. But there is an element of RNG and skill level. And that, you know, that's said by someone who wasn't a mathematician. So some people in the chat who are mathematicians might be like, no, you can't say that. But that is just honestly how I feel. It's like when I used to play ARPGs a lot, it'd be X build's the best because of the numbers. But some people wouldn't play a build that was a little bit less powerful in terms of numbers in an efficient way. And you could get the same results. You just have to work harder, higher APM. It's like if anyone ever played StarCraft. I've been playing StarCraft. Protoss were quite a easy race to play, as were Terran in StarCraft 2. You could just bio-ball an attack move and do a little bit of micromanagement and get by. If you're playing Zerg, you've got to be fast. You've got to be shooting all over the place on your screen with hotkeys. It's a skill level thing.